we're making coffee today. Like always, great way to start off my morning. And what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about storytelling today. So, how do I tell a story through vlogging? While I work, I get this lovely view of the snow falling, and it's super pretty. I like it. I like this wintry theme we have going on here. So, there are many ways I could do it. It could be one, just me time-lapsing and just showing you clips throughout my day. Then there's one version that I really enjoy, and that is the way like Casey Neistat, or I'm forgetting their name, do their documentation/vlogging. One of the things that I picked up from Casey Neistat is really, there's a part of the video which will be a clip. I don't own it. Casey Neistat, this is, don't copyright strike me. This is more like a video essay, so please don't get me in trouble. I don't want to get suspended from YouTube. But essentially in that video, you know what? Just roll the clip.
I wanted to explain to you, the audience, exactly how I make my vlogs. Like what I see as the recipe for creating these videos. First, a quick history lesson. I started vlogging in March of 2015. Now, before I started vlogging was typically individuals carrying around like point and shoot cameras that were sort of documenting their day into a camera. It was a much smaller genre back then, and it was pretty linear. Day begins here, day ends there, come with me throughout my day. I found the genre fascinating. I was obsessed with like Ben Brown, I was obsessed with Fun for Louie, I was obsessed with BF versus GF, Charles Trippy was great. I think what fascinated me the most about the whole genre was the idea of using your life as a narrative for a daily series. Now, when I made my HBO series, this is a series I did with my big brother Van. It was on HBO in 2010. We made it in 2008. That's 10 years ago. My brother and I used our lives as a backdrop for a TV show. But it wasn't so daily. It wasn't so episodic. Instead, we kind of plucked interestingness out of our lives, shared that interestingness as tiny little stories, strung those stories together, and called that a TV show episode. So on one end of the spectrum, we've got your daily vloggers in 2014, 2015, sharing every aspect of their daily lives into a camera. And on the other end of the spectrum, we've got this TV show that I made a decade ago where I share little stories from my lives as short movies. So I went to Belgium in 2015. This is a month before I started vlogging. And I wanted to test out one thing. What would happen if I sort of vlogged about my trip, but instead of talking into a camera, I used really precise cinematography? What would happen? Movie-like cinematography, but it was just me going about my daily life, going into my hotel room, coming out of my hotel room. And I love that video. That video worked. You should watch it. It's linked below. And that got me super excited. And that's when I made the decision that on my birthday, 2015, I would start daily vlogging. It wouldn't be this all day long. Instead, I wanted to figure out how to make something that felt a lot more like a movie every day. So that was the thinking. That's what went through my head prior to starting to vlog. So with that understanding, here are the foundational principles that I apply to almost every episode of this daily, almost daily, vlog. Number one, the most important thing, is of course the story. But what is a story? Here's a super basic breakdown of a story, and every good story follows this rule. That is the rule of a 3-act narrative. You've got a beginning, you've got a middle, you've got an end. Setup, conflict, resolution. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, Act 1. Jack fell down and broke his crown, Act 2. Jill came tumbling after, Act 3. Setup, conflict, resolution. Now, in some episodes, that's super literal. For example, my all-time favorite episode that I've ever made of this vlog, which is called My All-Time Greatest, is such a literal example of setup, conflict, resolution. It just felt so good to make that. There was a setup, here's what happened. There was a conflict, oh my God, what's the outcome going to be? And then there was a resolution, happy ending. But that's not always so literal in every episode, but I strive for that in every episode because that is what's at the core of a well-told story, and a story is what drives any video like this. And that right there was sort of the promise or the deal that I made with myself, was never an obligation to share with you the intimacies of every day of my life. This isn't a journal, but instead, could I find every day in my life a 3-act narrative to share? Now, a couple of the more granular aspects. I always found it kind of hard to watch non-stop shaky camera vlogs. It was disorienting, it was always a little claustrophobic. So what I try to do is have an equal amount of handheld, locked off shots. Locked off means on a tripod like this. And then establishing shots. The wide shots, those establishing shots, let you know where I am, so it feels more like you're here with me. These locked off shots let you, the viewer, forget about the camera for a second and focus on what I'm saying and the environment that I'm in. And then the handheld shots like this enable you to sort of feel the spontaneity and the urgency that is whatever's taking place in my daily life. Hardware, as in what cameras I use. I have a simple rule for when it comes to hardware, and that is always use the very best camera you have at your disposal. So right now I'm shooting this on my big camera. I'm shooting it in 4K with a nice wide lens. This is a perfect shot. I've got a light right there. I'm trying to make myself look good. This is the best I have right now. But when I'm out running in the morning and I want to film my runs, the best I have is my cell phone. I keep a point and shoot in my backpack in case I don't have this big camera, because the point and shoot is a little bit more dynamic than just the cell phone. So I'm not beholden to any certain kind of hardware or any certain quality of hardware. It's what I have access to. Cinematography part 2. Hold the camera steady. No one wants to watch super shaky cinematography. It hurts your brain. It's hard to see what's going on. It's not pleasurable for you, the viewer, and it's not easy for me, the editor, to put it together. If it's super shaky, if it's nonsensical, it goes straight in the trash. Cinematography part 3. Time lapses and drones. Here's something very important. No one gives a shit about your stupid time lapses, your stupid drone shots. That's something I have to remind myself on a daily basis. That kind of cinematography only works if it's serving a greater purpose. And for me, it serves 2 purposes. One is transitional. So you'll notice sometimes, like, I'm outside wrapping up a scene where I'm doing something on my skateboard. The next scene I'm in my studio doing something completely different. And in between there might be a beautiful drone shot of the city, or it might be a beautiful time lapse of the city. I'm using it to get me from one scene or one aspect of the story to the next. As that, it's an incredibly effective tool. The other place where it works is to show the audience a broader image of where you are and what's taking place in time. Drones in particular are great for that. I'm at a hotel on a cool beach and it doesn't really work pointing my camera. The drone can give you context that otherwise couldn't. If that kind of ambitious, beautiful cinematography doesn't have a relationship with the narrative, even if it's just a little relationship, it feels out of place and it gets boring very, very fast. Now, there is a lot more depth and complexity to it than that. Things like, where does being positive all the time start to just sound like total BS, where people don't believe it? Things like, when I'm feeling down and I want to share with you, the audience, that I'm struggling with something, how do I do that in a way that you actually care? Because we've all got our own problems. Why should I give a shit about yours? Things like consistent narratives, and if I'm on a trip that's 5 days long, how do I make a 5-day episode arc about essentially the same subject? So there's a lot of depth to this, but I hope that this serves as a good sort of introduction into some of the thinking that I've had as I do this vlog. I want to end this first kind of instructional sharing video by saying this. Probably the most important thing to succeeding, whether it's in the vlog game, the YouTube game, or in the creative space at all, is this. You have to have your own thing. So if you follow this video perfectly and you make the most perfect Casey vlogs, you will have failed before you've begun. They don't want to see your Casey vlogs. They want to see your vlogs. They want to see what you can bring to the table. My favorite thing in the world is seeing how YouTubers are able to iterate and build on other YouTubers' styles and sentiments and ideas until they make something that's uniquely theirs. Those are the YouTubers that really succeed. So the most important rule is be original. And that whole recipe that I just outlined, that was what I thought I could uniquely bring to YouTube and help find success with it. Alright, please let me know below if this is super interesting or absolutely.
Something that I kind of got from that video is having the storytelling infused into the vlogs. So like that's something I want to try to do. So we will see how I successfully do that instead of being like, oh, this is what I'm doing right now. I guess one of the other dilemmas that I have is how do I showcase what I'm doing? Like right now I'm eating lunch. There's this famous thing called show, don't tell. So how do I do that? Do I just... Okay, good. So we are learning how to do this. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be a good YouTuber or a good vlogger. This will be a test of my creativity, as well as a way to hold me accountable. So like, let's say I'm gonna go swimming. I gotta show you all me swimming. I'm just sitting here. Wait. I'm just sitting here typing an email, and I get a pretty view of the outside. Just sipping on a Stanley's coffee. I made coffee, but it's nice and pretty out. I love it. It's gonna be on full screen because I don't want to show the private information.
Totally heard that.
We're doing a video call talking about hiring for an office assistant and
Squid Games.
What are your thoughts on Squid Games?
I love it. I think they should keep making seasons and just probably cast me. Because I think I would eat.
Gabby for Squid Games, question mark?
Yeah. Let's get that going. Let's get that campaign going.
Let's do it. 100%. But yeah. Thank you for being a part of the vlog.
Like, of course, I love a good vlog.
It looks so peaceful out. It's nighttime. I'm done with work. We're clocked now. If you can't tell, I love this view. The light illuminates the snow falling. It's so pretty. Look at it. I'm about to pick up my brother. Gotta clean off my car first. But we really did like it. 3 inches of snow. Back at it again.
Where's the camera from?
You.
Oh, hi.
How are you feeling?
Tired.
What are we gonna make today?
And I can show you some bacon.
How long has this been foreshadowed?
I don't remember.
Since Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm just really tired, but I'm also very hungry.
What did you do today?
Excited. Volunteered at Theater Fest.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Would you recommend?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
What you doing, Lulu-gadoo-doo?
So, like we mentioned, we are doing bacon. So first, I need to cut up the bacon.
The bacon.
It's not I don't have this here.
Probably not. That's even more safe. Totally.
We're doing the bacon. So when it comes to
Fresh. Ooh, actually cut that out.
when it comes to making mac and cheese and bacon, you want to cut up the bacon first. The reason why is the meat is the hardest part because you have to let it cook. Typically, I just cook it in parts. Once I'm done, I'm gonna put this all in the pan. Yes, you probably could buy bacon bites if you wanted. And also, doing this.
Yay! Big chef man.
Done with the bacon knife.
Bacon. Ooh, bacon.
Gotta always wash your hands. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the fan.
So the fire alarm doesn't go off.
And we're just gonna pour the bacon in. And we let it cook.
This is the second video now. It accidentally cut off.
So, if you're dangerous like me, you just put your hands on the hot plate.
It's not hot yet.
See? It's hot. Ow! But I'm immune to heat. While you let things cook, you wash. Okay, you can stop it.
What up, guys? We drained some of the bacon a little bit. You're subjected to that grease now. We're starting on the mac and cheese. We gotta wait for the pot of water to boil. Say hi.
Low. So the one thing I don't like about cooking bacon is because of the smoke. And yes, I'll be transparent. I live in the residential halls. Yeah. And so I am super worried that I'm going to set off a fire alarm.
I mean, at least you're not the one guy that was cooking, like, he was hogging the microwave for like an hour, just cooking bacon over and over again. He burnt a bunch of it too.
Is that at your dorm?
Yeah. It was definitely on a floor that I am not living on.
What did you do with the water? Did you add anything to it?
I added a little salt.
Now, why did you do that?
I heard it helps it boil faster. Also, it might make the noodles more tasty. I don't know.
Yep, that is true. It helps the water reach higher heat so it can begin to boil.
Did you want to keep recording?
No, you're good.
Okay. Bye.
Looks like the bacon is done. Which is good timing because the pot is beginning to boil. And we're done.
Cooking.
Cooking, yeah. We have the mac and cheese right here. We have the bacon in it. What does it smell good?
Yes.
Now, let's try it.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Great, yeah.
Brings me back to when Dad used to cook.
You never made it, did?
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember. Yeah. I don't have a good memory anyway, so.
Here, we're gonna redo that take.
Oh, sorry.
Brings you back to when Dad used to make this. You remember that?
Totally.
The good old days. When we were back at Grandma's. Okay, I don't know if I'll keep that in. I don't know. So, to end off the time, because this is my brother's last night here,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Ice cream.
And,
A movie.
what's the movie?
Snowden.
What do you think of it so far?
Good.
Yes. It's been a fun week here, right?
I'm just a very opinionated guy.
You don't talk that much.
I don't talk that much, yeah.
What did you think of the movie?
Very good. But it is very late.
Yep, it's bedtime now.
Bedtime.